Hi again. Saw your comment there. So much amazing thread that's horrible about the wars. Yes, what were these wars called? The wars were before. Sweden is a happy country. We haven't had war since 1806 or something like that. So what you have is, but we were really happy fighters in the old days. So the big war, which and then you have different regiments. I'm not an expert on this, but what we can see is that the picture I showed you, I don't know where it is, about the war, which I think was rather sexy, is all the wars Värmlands regemente has been part of. And when I was at the library, wait, we can start with this. No, this is the wrong document. Here is a good document, and that's this Sisselbo Eriks Huddunge Ord and Bild. And my understanding now is that the records you are looking into is from Huddunge and the 1700. And this person, Erik Johansson, has handwritten pages like this, and it's 7 parts. And one of those parts is that he has, I don't have the English for it, when you transcribe a text, so he has transcribed it into his handwriting, which means it's much easier to read. So I found those 7 parts, and that means that if you would like to dig deep down in the stories, what happened, then you can read the Paris meetings from his book. The problem is normally that, at least for me, it's difficult to read, and not everything is scanned in Archive Digital, but a lot is. So if we go out to Huddunge, then maybe we can see some minutes down here or something like that. What I think he has done is that he has been sitting with microfilms and been reading this and transcribed it. So he has done an enormous work. But I just copied those soldier pays, and this is about what you say, people who are just walking around and begging. So he described everything, I think, in those maybe 500-600 documents. So he described people, he described soldiers, and I think you have to read a lot of it to find some gold as something valuable. And here you can see on this page 107 in one of the books, he's speaking about different Erik Sten, who was injured in the war after a visit to Sätrabrunn, which is a small place where people go to get cured. He was a little bit better. And here explains also that a soldier who came back from war had to give a gift, and here he described that Johan Udd gave 1 Swedish crown, and Erik Persson Blom 12 shilling, which is a smaller amount. Soldier Joachim Åberg, who was part in the war 1808 to 1809. In the Finnish war, told after his when he came home the most horrible histories from the war. For example, that 9 Russian he had 9 Russian on his gun. On the gun, you have a knife on the gun, bayonet or something like that, at the same time. And when one of the listeners asked him how many Russian people could he place on his bayonets. He told that they had to be put together a little bit. And this Joachim Moore, he died during a fishing at the sea Rönnvikssjön, where you found him sitting dead in his boat with a worm in his hand and fishing stuff in the other. And then he mentions some other soldier names: Åberg, Fastfelt, Damberg, Månasill, Djurbom, Julin. The last soldier who lived in Huddunge died both 1947. It was Anders Gustav Fast, 92, and Lars Olof Domberg. So this book is magic, I think, because then if you have your, as it looks, your family history in the 1700, then he has transcribed the minutes from the parish, which my understanding, I've just doing genealogy for 2 years, is that there you start getting the funny story. It's magic what they have done with all the bands and birth records and so on, but you don't get so much information out of it. And some priest writes a good story when people dies. Most people don't. So it's difficult to get information. But what I did, as I told you, was that I was at Västerås Library. And that's in the middle of Västerås. And Västerås is the biggest city in Västmanland, and your Huddunge is up here. So, and the feeling I had when I was there half a day, was that they had some people in the library who were interested in genealogy and had more books, magazines than other people have. Back to your questions. And the war, sorry, I'm not an expert, but I think one of the links, one of the big wars is the 30 Years' War, and Sweden was a big part of that. You can say counter with Protestant majority. So here I think the Swedish people went down to Lützen, a lot of famous battles. And Swedish intervention, here you can read 30 Years' War. Someone win. So there were a lot of regiments. I think on Erik Hall, I put together some good links. Everyone called Eric. I don't remember which one is your Eric Hull from these. The one where I updated a lot. They have good stories in English about different wars. And this is what I found in the appendix, mapped to what part of Westmanland's regiment history between 700 and 1809. So he joined your Eric. He joined, maybe you have more soldiers. He joined, I think, in 1815 or something like that. So here they are down doing the battles of Poltava, I think. Here you have Stralsund, which is a big battle. The person we read about, 1808, could be in here or over here. Yeah. Yes, Google is today. And this is the scanned part we looked into in the historical maps. So maybe there are more maps. Sweden was good on mapping because we would like to have war at that time, and then doing maps was a basic part in that, is my understanding. Coming to Huddunge, I think you should contact this hembygdsförening. To find places to visit. I never been in Huddunge myself. I didn't know it existed. So all of this info has taken the whole branch from barely 2 to 3 days to hitting end of documentation walls. I don't follow your English here, but maybe you say it's forgotten. Yes. Genealogy takes 1 or 2 generations if no one is interested, I think. Also, Hall was a matronym and jumped from the female line at one time. Matronym, I have to translate that. It's better to search, maybe. Not normal in Sweden, if I understand this word correct. It says here that you get it from the mother, and what they say, it will appear if the mother was of higher rank than the father, and that was not normal. So then you have some example here with the Danish king. So yeah, never heard about it, but you have maybe found it. I come across some curious things in one of the baptism records. The one on the right part bottom, Johanna is baptized his daughter Magdalena. A few other Hallgren mentioned. Kommunister, yada yada, Magister Erik Hallgren of Uppsala and Magdalena Hall. These aren't Johan Pass. Johan was Johnson and was baptized in Huddunge. What are they talking about in this entry? As said, I'm a new beginner in this, but you have something called a witness. If you look in the later church books, what's out here is witnesses. So if we go over here to some random book, they also call father here, and the meaning of it is I'm not 100% sure what it means. Sometimes it could mean that people in this column here you have skomakar, wife, Anna, blah blah blah, could be some person that took care of Gerda if something would happen. In Sweden today you have father, but it has no reality. But in earlier in Sweden it was that this person took responsibility for the child if something got wrong. But when I was on a genealogy training, I got the feeling that was maybe not the case. But if we look on the person in your case here, maybe the feeling I got, which is maybe not right, is that this is people of higher rank. So maybe Johan Hallgrens a priest was, at least for me, my understanding, rather high. And we are in the 1700s. He was the one who did all the administration of the village and parish. And today, priest has no power at all. So at that time, they were reporting, they were written the books. I think you had the position at that time, and you could write and so on, so on. I had difficult reading this. As said, I'm a beginner. Babla, don't understand Johan Hallgren's daughter. Here you have this witness, father, kommunister, priest in some kinds, Erik Hall, again, vid central, could be something, in Uppsala. And Uppsala is some kind of capital. Where you have a big church. It's up here. So it's not far away from Huddunge, but it's in another county. Huddunge up there and Uppsala there. So my feeling is that they had some rank, they have some position, they have some contacts when those people appeared. Difficult to read the rest here. And then you have Magdalena Hallgren in Uppsala. So it could be some kind of relation to them if you do your homework and research back. Kommunister is priest in some way. Communister, nothing in English. Translate to English. Person who holds the regular priesthood in a parish way in Swedish church. The minister is the rector's aide, previously known as chaplain, which still is the title of the rector in Norway and Finland. Sometimes communists all are employed of the cathedral parish. Blah, blah. Here you have scanned books. There is a big project at Runeberg where they scan old books. So if then you have about communists. So if you are lucky, he was a really famous person, but we were not lucky. Hallgren, what's his name? Communist Erik Hall. Here we have a Jakob Hallgren, a priest. Who was a student in Vasa, which is in Finland, but Finland was in Sweden at that time. And Matthias, I think. This is a really good site in Swedish about Uppland. Nothing interesting. Here we have something Uppsala Stifts Hederminne. And that are good books. That's books where they write about priests. and some of them are scanned. So what you get for free. The good story. So if we should do a search on Uppsala stiftshederminne and PDF, here we have, boom. So here maybe someone has, I hear they write about it, I think. There was just one page. So if you could find it, you will have the stories for free. I have done something. Irenius. If I go to my profile, I have done some open space pages. Space started, and then we have Ronio. So here I have Shepherd's Memoir, that's this about. And then I have Härnösands here, I mean Uppsala, here I have it, online. And what you get then for free is all the family history. So it's, no, this is it's scanned. Bishops. This is, so you have stories about the priest, but now we are in the 1400, and this must be 760, I think. So if we now this is crazy. 1550. I think the Vaxhall, they have different parts here. Maybe not everything is scanned. It's old Uppsala, and I think we had a clue here from what part he was, which is there. So those books could give you, but if you're lucky you find a whole one on let's see, it's jumping directly to 237. So he has just, the person who I linked to has just scanned some of them. Maybe it's the same pages. I just put it up here because I found it, and I can show you. Here we have a new one, and now they jump archbishops. That's the big boys. Bury. Yeah, so you see, it's a lot of information. So when I look at this, the Hedman I have been using, then it's about Oviken, then or Ronio. That's my girlfriend's, and then this is the text. So you get all the priests working in that area and so on. You get for free, and who they married, and also some good stories if you're lucky. Another place. As they are a priest, they are a little bit famous, and then you have Swedish National Dictionary, and then you can go to Svar. And then if you do a search on Hallgren, nothing appears. Or was it Hallgren? Hall was it? Hallsläkt. So this could be part of a famous. It could be, has nothing to do Hull as a soldier name. Or it has. So then you have to start reading this to get an understanding. Here I say it's from a British oh, stupid me. Translate to English. Relative British descent, possibly from Hull. And the question is this the same family? The former was the East India. And they were living in Gothenburg, so I think this is not the same family. Yep. Should it be too easy? Here we have someone, a good place called Rötter. Here is someone asking about someone who called Erik Hall, who was born in Kiel 1785, but you couldn't find him. He's married with Maja Stina. But this is not the priest. Good place, this Rötter. They, I think it's driven by some genealogy society, which is for the whole Sweden. And you also have some picture archives here. I think. Picture always make fun. If you go to the stop, it may you have some English here, but I think most is not. Finding your roots and they have also a lot of good sources for helping you about birth records and so on. And maybe we can have about this witness stuff here. Birth. By the name of people who baptized there. You may also find that was not much. Yeah, so here you have what's happening, different meetings. And so on. Here is Sala. Maybe this could be, I'm part of this group. It's a small genealogy, and it's Sala Heby. And